Sorry. Sponziki, what are your thoughts on normie people that only watch popular shonen anime and refuse to watch anything else? I think it's well within your right, but I don't think you're an anime fan. I think you're a shonen fan. And I think there's a distinction between those two things. Like... And that's not even a bad thing. That's not even a fucking bad thing. If you only want to watch popular shonen, then you can call yourself a shonen fan. Like, who cares? Who cares? Like, I think that's totally fine. But you're not a fan of anime. You're a fan of shonen. That's like with movies, right? It's like if you only watch Disney movies, you're not a fan of movies, you're a fan of Disney. Like, I feel like in most other contexts, people could understand this, right? It would be deceiving if you go, oh yeah, I love coffee. And then somebody comes up to you and they're like, oh, like, what's your favorite roast? And you're like, well, actually, when I say I love coffee, what I mean is I like Starbucks Insta... The little Insta pear packets. I don't drink any other coffee other than that. It's like, okay, well, you're not a fan of coffee. You don't love coffee. You love the little Starbucks single strips. Which is fine. I'm happy for you. But don't say you love coffee. Haven't thought about it like that. It's a good point. You're a fan of coffee, but just a casual fan of it. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like my opinion on this is if you're only watching popular shonen anime, right? What you're trying to get out of it is like that sense of community, right? Because you're only watching the stuff that's popular and you're only watching stuff that's in a specific genre. So you're not engaging with it because you necessarily strictly like the media, because otherwise you would be watching other shonen as well, not just the stuff that's popular. Like, do you get what I'm saying? What constitutes as being a fan, though? I mean, that's going to be different for everybody, but I think applying a broad general term to yourself is misleading. And you can defend yourself and you can be like, well, actually, I am a fan and I'm going to call myself a fan. And you know what? I don't care enough to fucking go out of my way to fight you on it. All right. From my perspective, though, I don't think you're a fan of anime if you're only a fan of popular shonen. You can get into like the nitty gritty arguments of like, oh, well, define popular. Or what if I watch one shonen that's not popular? Can I call myself a fan then? And it's like, I think these are bad faith arguments because I think you're arguing for the sake of arguing, right? At the end of the day, you should be able to recognize if you're only watching popular shonen anime, there's a reason why you're doing it, right? You're only watching stuff that is popular. Why are you doing that? Probably because you want to engage with like the community around that. You're not an anime fan in the broad sense. You're not looking to engage with the broader anime community. You're looking to engage with a specific subsect of that community. That's like calling yourself a, like this is a very ancient example, right? But I think a lot of people will get it. It's like calling yourself a gamer, but all you play is Candy Crush. Like, I guess technically, yes, you're playing a game, and maybe you're a really big fan of that game. But also, it's fucking Candy Crush, and if you try to engage with anybody else in a meaningful conversation about being a gamer, you're not going to be able to relate to them. Because you're so super niched, like, super highly fucking subsection of a niche, like, specced into something. Where it's like, yeah, I'm sure you could have great conversations with other Candy Crush players, but you're not connecting with other gamers. These are two different things. These are two very different things. Calling yourself a car enthusiast, but you only drive a minivan? I mean, you could still, like, know the history of a bunch of other vehicles and shit, but Someone arguing like that is because they feel stupid when they encounter someone they know is an actual anime fan. Fair, I don't consider esports gamers. I think that depends on the esports player, in my opinion. A lot of people that play esports also play other stuff. But I guess if you're only playing one game, then, but whatever. Esports is cringe as fuck. It's a debate for 5-year-olds. I don't think there's anything wrong with establishing boundaries. I think it makes sense to establish boundaries. And I don't think it's necessarily gatekeeping either. It's like, because it affects the perception of the overall hobby, right? It's like, imagine everybody who said that they were into football said, oh, I'm into sports. And it's like, okay, well, what other sports do you like? Oh, you only like football? Then no, you don't like sports. You like football. With the Candy Crush, it's like discussion. If somebody comes out, like a fucking huge celebrity, and they're like, yeah, I'm a massive gamer. I'm on level 5010 of Candy Crush. Ask me about video games. Ask me my opinion on video games. I think we should ban violent video games. I think GTA is bad. This was a real thing that used to happen. Do you guys remember when like mobile games started getting really big? And all of a sudden, all of these moms are like, yeah, I like video games. Just, I don't understand why they have to be like that. I don't understand, like, why do they have to be violent? Look at all these good games that people can have. There should be nothing wrong with banning violent video games because, look, I love Candy Crush. Look at Farmville. Look, there are games. We're not saying you can't have video games. Just not those kinds. And do I think like Mr. Beast is going to come out and say, oh, no violent anime or whatever? No, I don't think he's going to give his opinion on any of that shit, okay? But in a general sense, I think it's okay to establish boundaries and say, all right, man, I don't think you're an anime fan. I think you might have seen the most popular anime of all time. I don't think you're a fan of anime. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. He unironically will them out? I don't think so. I don't think Mr. Beast likes to give his opinion on shit like that. Cause like, look at, like this might come as like a whiplash, but I am a fan of Mr. Beast. Like as a, how did I word this before? I used to talk about Mr. Beast quite a bit because I'm not a fan of what he makes, but I'm a fan of how he does it. I'm a fan of how analytical he is with content and breaking it down to an exact science. I've watched a lot of the interviews that he's done. Yeah, professionally. He's your thumbnail idol. Yeah, he makes the best thumbnails. And it's just science. I respect the grind set. I don't see a world where Mr. Beast comes out and he's like, yeah, anime's good, but we should get rid of all that pedo shit. Look at all this anime that I don't like. He's not gonna do that because that would alienate a bunch of his audience. And at the end of the day, he wants a massive audience. He wants to build his brand bigger and bigger. So he's not going to do things that are going to isolate his audience. Like, it wouldn't make sense. Okay, even if he thinks it, he'd never say it. Shonen fans call Made in Abyss child abuse anime. Yeah, Made in Abyss is a great anime to recommend to people. This is gonna sound bad, but because you know they're not gonna like it. The Made in Abyss, you have to actually be in pretty deep with anime. Like, either you had to have, like, grown up with it and been desensitized to a bunch of the anime isms, or you have to have an extremely open mind. Because Made in Abyss is batshit fucking insane, and it is full of everything that people that hate anime complain about. It's peak. What do you mean shit was so cash? It's great! Made in Abyss is fantastic! I have a Fapuda right on my desk. Gabriel Lithian, thank you. Made in Abyss is a litmus test of whether someone is worth talking to about anime. True. True. Midi scenes made me cry. Dude, I cried really hard watching Made in Abyss. I cried really fucking hard watching Made in Abyss. I think Made in Abyss is peak. I don't know if it's my favorite anime, but it's up there. It's top 5. The movie is sad. The movie is really sad. I got incredibly depressed. It's incredibly depressing, but it's also got that ambition in it. And I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for media where people are compelled to do something greater than themselves and they don't know why, and they hunger for it and they go after it even if it doesn't make logical sense. You know what I mean? And that's entirely what Made in Abyss is. That's entirely what Made in Abyss is.